I'm going to share the insider strategy that is never taught in any law schools. How to pick a court that actually bites. Let's make sure you're winning before you even step into the courtroom. Stop. Just stop. Stop simply copying and pasting that standard jurisdiction clause of defendant's domicile into your China contracts. You might think you're playing it safe, but actually you're likely to throw your money out of the window. I'm Donovan Wan. I've been practicing law in China for over 16 years. I'm well recognized in the legal market and I've handled cases worth billions of dollars in total. Here is the brutal truth in China. Winning the lawsuit is only half of the battle. The other half, the harder half, is getting the money back. And if you pick the wrong court, you could be waiting 12 months just to get your first court hearing, or watching helplessly while the debtor transfers all their assets because your court is too slow to freeze them. I'm going to share the insider strategy that is never taught in any law schools. How to pick a court that actually bites. First, a quick primer on China's court system. Think of it as a pyramid. At the top, the Supreme People's Court with 6 circuit courts. Below that, the high courts for each province, municipality, and autonomous regions, and the intermediate courts. And at the base, thousands of primary courts. Alongside this, you have specialized courts such as financial courts, intellectual property courts, maritime courts, and the China International Commercial Court for major cross-border disputes. They are at the intermediate level. So, how do you pick one? There are 2 ways, by agreement and by law. By agreement is your first choice. In your contract, you can flexibly choose a court that has a connection to the dispute, like the plaintiff's location, the defendant's location, where the contract was signed, or where it is performed. That is your power to control the game. There is no agreement. It defaults to by law. The basic rule is to sue where the defendant is domiciled, but crucially, for contract disputes, the court at the place of a performance also has jurisdiction. Remember this point. It might be a key strategy. That is the textbook. But in reality, choosing a court is like choosing a business partner. You need to know their personality. This is what truly matters, and this is where you can gain a massive advantage. Here are 4 secrets I'd like to share with you. Number 1, the court's appetite for new things. Is your case about crypto, a VIE structure, or a complex financial product? A conservative court might dismiss your case simply because they don't understand the underlying technology or structure. They see risk and uncertainty. But a progressive court, say in Shanghai, Shenzhen, or Beijing, not only understand these concepts, but often has specialized judges who have handled similar cases. You must match the court's mindset to a case's complexity. Number 2, the freeze factor, and the differences are shocking. How fast will the court freeze the defendant's assets? Some courts are aggressive. You provide a guarantee, they issue an order, 48 hours, 1 week, done. Others might be just slow. They may ask for extensive proof that defendant is on the verge of bankruptcy, which is almost impossible to provide. That delay is a golden window for the debtor to empty their bank accounts. Even more, will the court proactively help you? Some courts, when you apply to freeze one bank account, will ask, do you want us to run a network-wide search for all their bank accounts nationwide? Other courts will only freeze the single bank account you provided. That is the difference between freezing 10,000 and freezing $10 million. Number 3, the speed of justice. Some courts are quite loaded with cases. In certain districts in Beijing or Shanghai, you could wait a year just for your first court hearing. A year? In business terms, that is forever. Your market opportunity could vanish, your key witness could leave the country. But a court in the neighboring city or the specialized court might get you a judgment in 6 months. So before you choose a court, you must ask your local counsel, what is the average trial period here? Number 4, the bite behind the bark. A judgment is useless without enforcement. This is where the court's power really shows. Let me give you a classic example. The investigation order. The court could issue an investigation order to a lawyer, and the lawyer holding that order could go to the bank to check a company's bank accounts. In some cities, banks will tell your lawyer, sorry, we only show this to a judge. Why? because there's no local penalty for refusing. But in other provinces or other cities, the local high court has issued rules that heavily fine any bank that does not comply with a lawyer's investigation order. Suddenly, that piece of paper has real teeth. A court order from a jurisdiction with a reputation for tough enforcement is worth 10 times more than a paper judgment from a lenient one. This is the difference between a win and a real win. Finally, what happens if you and your opponent file in different courts? Two scenarios. Number one court is wrong. If the other party files in a court with no jurisdiction, you must immediately file an objection of the jurisdiction. If you win, the case gets transferred to the right place. Do not just accept it, challenge it. Number two, both courts are right. What if your contract allows suing in both Shanghai and Shenzhen? The rule is simple. Court that officially accepts the case first wins the right to hear it. In this game, speed is everything. So let's recap. Your jurisdiction clause is not a procedural formality. It is your first strategic strike. It determines the speed, the efficiency, and ultimately the financial outcome of your dispute. I'm Donovan. I bridge the gap between the foreign legal expectations and the Chinese reality. If you have a complex cross-border contract on your desk right now, DM me. Let's make sure you're winning before you even step into the courtroom.